The brochure stated, "A holiday in Spain at a luxury villa for two." But there had been no mention of the visitor who wished to share the couple's food and accommodation, and he certainly wasn't there for sun and relaxation. It was September 1980 when Daniel and Isabel arrived at the villa in their open-top MG sports car. By now it was late evening, completely dark, and the car's headlights brushed across the white stone walls of their idyllic house in the country as their car swung into the driveway area. They had travelled a long way, and their blood-red MG had gathered a considerable layer of dust on the journey, and so had their suitcases, which were strapped to the boot rack at the back. They were clearly well-to-do, an attractive couple in their mid-40s. They eased themselves out of the small car, legs stiffened by the journey, and brushed themselves down. Daniel was easily 6'2", with a strong athletic build and a shock of dark brown hair, which he slicked back. He wore a dark velvet sports jacket, a checked shirt with a stylish cravat, and his thick trouser belt tightly wrapped around his beige chinos, which perfectly complemented his polished leather shoes. Isabel looked elegant in her dark blue skirt and sapphire blue open-neck blouse. Her short-ish red hair was perfectly trimmed, and her eyes gleamed in the darkness. Daniel banged the bonnet of the MG with his strong hands. "Well done," he loudly declares, congratulating the car for getting them both there safely. "I hope there's an iron," Isabel queries coquettishly in her middle-class voice of refinement. "A bath and a good night's rest," Daniel bellows across the courtyard, with his deep and confident voice resonating off the villa walls. Outside the villa, they both stand next to their car while the crickets chirp away in the distance, in the still night air. "Lovely," says Isabel, head back, sensing the cool air. "Jasmine," Daniel declares enthusiastically. "We're in Katana," Isabel corrects. "It's tobacco plants." "Let me introduce you to the grapevine." At last, Daniel announces with a sweeping gesture. Isabel plucks a grape straight off the nearby hanging vine and takes a bite. Her lips curl down, and she involuntarily screws up her attractive face at the sour taste. She stares at the bitten grape in her hand. "I told you that I was flustered when that policeman blew his whistle at me," she says. "That cost us another 30 miles at 90p a gallon," Daniel accuses her, with good nature. "Here's the keys." Isabel dangles them in front of him. "Come on, let's get inside." Daniel unlocks the villa front door, and they both walk inside. Isabel carries a lightweight straw holdall inside with her. Moving through the front door, they switch the inside lights on. Their both now standing is a large tiled floor kitchen with rustic tables and old-style kitchen presses and surfaces. "The kitchen," Daniel declares, hands on hips, while he struts around casually taking in their rented accommodation. Converted farmhouse, circa 1920, Ernest Hemingway is supposed to have worked at that window. He drones on in his strident voice, slightly questioning, as if he is quoting from the brochure as he scans around.